Can you honestly say, yes, I know God is not man that he shall lie. So if he promised you a thing, yes, he will bring it to pass. But what if he didn't? Could you still say, Lord, you still are good to me? Could you still say, Lord, you still have been good to me, even if you never blessed me? See, I just did a video sharing a little short piece of my testimony, how the devil tried to kill me. And so after I got done uploading it, I was thinking back over, and I began to talk with the Lord and tell the Lord and sang, I don't know, I can't think of the name of the guy that sang it, but the song, Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been better than good. That song. So uh, I'm sitting up here, literally, that's why I swipe my eyes, tears rolling down my eyes, just singing to the Lord, because the Lord didn't have to spare me. As I shared at the end of the video, that relationship I had entertained, I didn't know the dude was a hitman. I ended up finding out. Foolishly when I went with him. I'm gonna just leave it like that for today. But I ended up finding out, and I didn't even, let's be clear, witness him do anything. But I did see residue in my car. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so I didn't know the company that I was keeping, the company that I had around me at that time. But I quickly found out just who he really was on that day when he took me on that dirt road. It was a dirt, I think it was in Tupelo or right before. We was in Memphis, staying in Memphis, by the way. But the road was not too far from Tennessee. And it was a long dirt country road. And he, with the gun, cop loaded to my head, told me, let my seat up. And of course, I wasn't crazy, so I let my seat up. He let down my window, began to tell me how my insides, I'm going to say like, because TikTok be picky sometimes, was finna be on the side of the road. When I tell you it was no, God didn't have, listen, a lot of people talk, but won't bust a grape. I'm telling you, from the residue that I seen in my car, if he said it, he was about that life. I'm telling you, he was about that life. Ain't no he pulling it and ain't finna use it. He was about that life. If you got on his bad side, that was gonna be the end of you. He was about that life. And so as I said, he was mad all behind money. Money began to get low, and he got mad behind me because, child, what he didn't get mad about. But anyway, let's go on. So we on the dirt road, seat let up, window let down. He telling me how my stuff finna be on the outside the window. And when I tell you, it was nobody but God who rebuked the spirit of death at that very moment and said, not so. See, the Lord allowed him to touch me physically in that relationship. And I'm talking about domestic. But he wouldn't allow him to take my life. That was 2009, if I'm not mistaken. This is way before April 2014. I didn't deserve to be spared by the Lord. I wasn't nowhere near coming to salvation at that time, coming to the Lord. I was nowhere near being a follower of Christ at that time. But the Lord chose to spare my life that day. And you would have thought that would have woke me up and got my attention, but it didn't. Matter of fact, I think that was '08. Because fast forward the year after, see, let me tell you something. The spirit of death was really after me. But the devil is a lie because he can't have me. Even before I came into the world. But let's go on. The year after, I ended up getting in a relationship. Didn't know the guy was married. Ended up finding out he was married by, and it had to be nobody but the Holy Spirit that led me to search through his phone. Because it had to be nobody but the Holy Spirit that had me to stop on that certain name. I just happened to stop on a name. I'm going to say the Holy Spirit led me to stop on this woman's name while searching through his phone. And she had the same last name as his. Now, that could have been his sister. That could have been his mother. That's why I say it had to be nobody but the Holy Spirit. Because I'm just scrolling. Scrolling through his phone. Stopped on a certain name. Called it. She picks up. I'm explaining. I'm first of all, I asked who she was. She tell me she's his wife. So that opened up a whole nother can of worms. Make a story short with that relationship. I ain't had no plans on making a part two, but I guess it's a part two. I just kind of tell about how good God is, but might as well go ahead and finish it. So with that relationship, one night we end up getting into a fight because he ended up being embarrassed and punching me in the side of my face. And so I snapped, I blanked out. I was down there, it was in Shreveport. I was down there with a friend girl in that same car, my grand now, this before it got totaled in 15. Um, and so I ended up getting the best of him, and it was people, other guys out there watching, and I guess he felt some type of way. His pride was hurt, his ego was damaged, and so he ended up trying to pull a knife out on me, but he couldn't successfully get to me. And so the following was nobody but God. So the police end up coming, make a story short, we end up separating. He end up calling me, not knowing all along, trying to set me up because his pride was hurt. He just got, how you get beat up by a girl? And at that time I was 19 years old. He was 30, early 30 something, but he was in his 30s. So it's like, it don't look too good. How you getting beat up by a girl, right? But let's go on. So he ended up telling me to come pick him up around the corner. Me and my homegirl, we go around, pick him up in the car around the corner. And he acts like he want to go to the store. Let me say this though. When I picked him up, he was on the phone with who I didn't know at the time was his brother, and I heard him say the words because my back window was down. So as I'm cruising up on him, he's on the phone. He said, "They gonna stay with me. They gonna be here with me." And so he gets in, take him to the store. I'm sitting there thinking everything's still sweet and good and gold. I ain't realizing, girl, if you don't get out here, this dude is setting you up. His brother on the way to come get you and take you out. It was nobody but God that spoke through my homegirl at that time and said, "Let's go." When I tell you, it's like once I heard her say, it is like it snapped me from out of the spell. That's the best way I can explain it, because before she said anything, I'm just sitting there waiting on him to come back out the store. But once she said that, it snatched me from out of it. It snatched the blinders from off my eyes, from off my mind, and I hit that road. I ain't looked back ever since. Not to him, I didn't. Now, I'm saying I ain't go back down there. Baby, no. Mm-mm. It was nobody but God. And I can go on. It was nobody but God who spared my life. I didn't deserve to be spared, but he spared me anyway. So don't tell me God ain't real. Don't tell me that.